Hey guys, so I've kind of been going through something in my own life recently this weekend, kind of looking back at how I have been showing up in my own life. Like who I be as I am out in the world. And I come from childhood trauma, narcissistic abuse. My father was a narcissist, mother, codependent tendencies. She was also had a lot of narcissistic tendencies as well. And something I've realized is, of course, my parents were wounded children. They have traumas did not address. They have not done any healing work. And so something I'm noticing in my own life is that unhealed parents will create children who are also unhealed. Parents who are not healed are not going to be teaching me, how to cope with my emotions, how to feel, how to move through things, how to successfully navigate life as, I become an adult and go off on my own journey. So I've been making a lot of connections with this, and I can see how I have shown up to life from the mindset of a very wounded child. And this of course makes immense sense because I was following my parents' example. And my parents were not emotionally aware. Emotions were like the F word in our family. No, we don't go there. We don't talk about them. They do not exist. You're fine. Just fucking don't come at me with emotions because we ain't gonna hear it. So maybe you're wondering, how does this play out? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how this has played out in my life. I learned from a very, very young age that I will not be met in any capacity. I've got the roof over my head and, there's food on the table when it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's all I got. If I was feeling any kind of way, it was shut down immediately. So this taught me in life, don't bring my needs to anybody. No one can handle them. No one can handle my voice. I have been for the last 35 years in relation with anyone, the silent person, the silent people pleaser. My whole point in life has been to, please my parents, make them happy, help them with whatever they need to get done, whatever they need. And the whole time, there's just nothing going on here. I have been unaware of my own wants and needs. I basically have not existed. And the thing that connected the dots for me right now, somebody posed the question, if my life were to end tomorrow, just end, flat out end, it's over, you did what you did, congrats. Would I be happy with how I showed up to my life, with how I lived my life if it ended tomorrow? And it really got me looking back on everything I've done, on who I've been, looking at the things I say I want. I've completed none of them. So of course my answer to this question is fuck no. Fuck no. I have not lived even 1% of my life yet, or even just been who I want to be. And it's a really powerful place to be because I don't really know how this clicked into place, but what clicked is that I'm showing up as this wounded child in today, in the now, in the 2022. I still show up as this scared little girl who can't bring her voice to anyone. I can't speak up. It's very hard. Anyone who's known me knows I am the quiet, shy girl. But when I look, it's really, am I that person? Is that really me? And no, It's not. No. Like, I've been conditioned to fear others around me. Like, my dad was very, very angry. And I know the reason I show up the way I show up is because it was never permitted for me to show up. I had no safe place to be as a kid. Like, my who I was as a person was not welcome. Like, that message was very loud and very clear. And as a young kid, like, I take it as law. Like, wherever I go, my young brain shows up as like, oh, it's not safe here. Like, I can't be me. Like, people won't like me. Like, in my young mind, I project outward that every single person I come into contact with will be exactly like my family. Like, they will not like me. They do not have any tolerance for me. And, realizing this and how deeply it affects me and how it affected me then and how I am still living forward in this way. Like, it's huge. This entire awareness is helping me cultivate and like grow up the hurt me. Like, there is this little girl inside of me. Like, since birth, I've been facing challenges of my family, like of not feeling wanted, abandonment, like just all of this stuff. And, when you were raised in a family that is dysfunctional, where emotions are not spoken about, like there's no communication, like I didn't learn how to be a healthy adult. And I'm realizing, like, if I don't learn these skills, like learn how to cope, learn how to grow up the hurt parts of me, I'm going to keep carrying them forward. My little mind is going to keep thinking like, oh, it's not safe here. I can't be seen. I can't do these things, which in reality, like, it's not true. It's not. But if you find yourself here and you're not cultivating safety within yourself, you're not in places where it truly is safe to be you, then yeah, you're going to keep feeling this way. And like, I'm about a year into this work of deeply cultivating my own sense of safety. And like, I've done this enough to where, yeah, I do feel safe in my own home. I feel safe in my own presence. Like, I feel safe with me. And like, that is amazing in itself, because I never had that either. Like, nobody showed me this. And I'm coming to the point where I'm ready to like build my safety outside of my home. Like, I'm ready to move out of my bubble. Like, I've raised up my little inner Hay to a point where she's like, okay, I'm okay being me. Like, I can be me. Let's do this. Let's try. And it's a lot of like trial and error. Like, does this work? Do I feel safe here? Like, how does this make me feel? Do these people make me feel okay? What does this group of people feel like? And like, it's a lot of like, I don't feel safe here. And a lot of it too is exposure to newness. Like, as you grow and you become more aware, like, that fear is going to be there. Of course it's going to be there. Like, because again, if you don't know, like, as you build up your awareness, like, you don't feel safe. You're going to expose yourself to situations that your mind is going to be telling you, going off like, this isn't safe, this isn't safe, this isn't safe. Oh my God, we're going to be seen. Like, honoring that. Like, yes, this is a new situation. This is a new situation, and it can feel scary. Just allowing myself to feel like that exposure, to be like, holy shit, we're about to be ourselves in front of people we don't know. How could this go? Like, your brain is always going to jump back to childhood and be like, fuck, we're about to get our ass beat. Like, this ain't going to go down well. And, having that awareness too is so powerful, because you then have the power now to choose. Like, are you going to let this little child run your life? Are you going to keep playing small? Are you not going to show up? Are you willing to feel uncomfortable in new situations as you adjust? Like, your comfort level will adjust, but at the same time, it can feel very life-threatening if you come from active, like, not act, well, you could be in active abuse, but like if your childhood was physically abusive and you are slowly exposing yourself to new situations, you can very much feel that initial or original fear coming up. And you know how you play with this is you take it extremely slow and you expose yourself in ways that you're safe and you're going to be okay. And like how I've been able to do this, I joined a hiking group. You know, I know overall, like in this day right now, I am safe. I can show up and be here and be me. But again, as I expose myself and like get out on a trail and like around other people, my fears come up. Like they're fucking loud. They're here. Like it's like they're ripping and you know, it's crazy to be able to even just witness this, because I can see how I still today am acting how I was back then. I clam up. I get really quiet. It is uncomfortable. It is terribly uncomfortable. Like, there's no way around it. Like, there isn't. But I'm dedicated to becoming the highest and best expressed version of myself. And the only way for me to get there is to safely expose myself and to start speaking out, like showing myself, being vulnerable, trying to connect in a healthy way, which, you know, it involves me changing how I've interacted. It involves me now being present and talking and like trying to ask people, you know, how's your day? What do you like to do? What's your favorite color? What, like, just whatever, like even just having fun with this, like it's scary. And so, you know, I just want to share like what happens as you start exposing yourself, because, you know, I don't know anybody doing this. I don't know anybody else going through this. Like nobody talks about this. And like, again, I want to be that person that can like talk about what happens as you recover from trauma, as you step into the person you want to be. Because, you know, there is no guide for this. We don't learn this in school. We don't fucking come near any of this in school. Like nobody teaches you like how to healthily connect or how to move out of like wounded child stages. And like what it all comes down to is you, like when you notice your wounded child coming up, like love on them. All they wanted to be loved, to be seen, to be held in their big feelings, to be like told like it's okay, you're gonna be okay. Like, yeah, this feels big, this feels scary, this whatever you're feeling or going through, like let yourself feel that. Validate it. Validate the little you who's terrified as fuck and is like, oh God, I'm gonna say the wrong thing, people are gonna hate me. Like, yeah, it's really real. There's a chance people won't like you. There is. Like, but again, like just open your awareness. Like, do you like every single person there is out there? No. There's people you don't like. People are not going to like you. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, because the people who are meant to be with you, around you, in your space are gonna be people that like you and like lift you up, support you, and help you become the person you want to be. Like, life is not meant to be this fear factory where you're scared of everything. It's not. And like most of my life, that's what it's been. Fucking fear factory, scared of everything. Like, let's just play small, let's have no wants, have no needs, let's just not even be. And all that comes back, like when I look back, it's just like, ugh, like it's not a way to live. It's really not. Like, I claim that I want to live alive, be present, and be in my life. So I have to now take those steps to make sure I do it. But if I stay with this wounded little girl and don't heal her up and like love her and like help her be herself and help her know that she is safe, then I'm just gonna keep living out my life in this same vicious cycle. Like, my parents are still stuck here. Like, they don't want to be alive. And I mean, like, when I say be alive, I mean like have love in your heart, have joy in your heart, like feel like excited and fired up to live. Like, I've spent most of my life not even knowing what that feels like. Even today, like a lot, like feeling excited to live feels very far off sometimes. And you know what? That's just how it is for me. And I have been able to accept this. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, of course I feel this way, because like, look back on what you had to live through. Like, if you're not surrounded by joyous people happy to be alive, people like, oh my God, what can you dream of next? What do you want to do? Like, where are you going? Like, let's get there. Like, if you don't have that, like, you don't know that's even a possibility. So yeah, this is just a rant on, I encourage you or invite you to just look back on your life. How have you shown up? Like, have you been scared? Like, do people really know you? Because this is the other side of it too. Like, in me being this wounded little girl and not showing up, not speaking my truth, nobody in my life knows the real me. I mean, okay, today in my healing journey, yes, there are a handful of people that do know my heart. Like, they know what I've been through. They've seen what I've been through, like, and what I've had to overcome. Like, so you can get there. But when I first started awakening and like seeing how my childhood affected me, like, my woundedness kept me separate from everyone. I thought that I was so damaged, no one would ever, and again, just projecting all of the pain and everything I felt from childhood, nobody will ever see me. I'm not worthy. Like, I'm not worthy to take up space. Nobody's interested in me. Like, boyfriend, that'll never happen. No guy will ever be into me. Like, your childhood is so impactful on how you move forward. And I think there are a lot of people out there, people like who used to be like me, not having any awareness and wondering, like, why doesn't anybody know me? Why can't I be myself? Why am I so fucking scared and overwhelmed all the goddamn time? Like, another effect of this, not being raised healthily, like, life is overwhelming. It is so overwhelming when you can't feel, you don't understand your inner body, like inner workings, like with the feelings that are going on inside of you, and you have no words to say. Like, this hurts, this feels uncomfortable, like, I don't like when you do that, please don't speak to me that way. Like, it is overwhelming to live when you don't know how to healthily connect to yourself, to your feelings, and you can't express the things that are on your heart, even though you want so bad that connection, but you just don't know how. Like, you keep missing. It's just like, oh, this isn't working, or you're stuck in your reactions and you're yelling at people, you don't know how to talk. Like, this is so real, and it has been so real for me. Like, this has been the last, since 2016, I really dove into this work, and these last 5 years have been like me really looking at, where do I need to level up? How can I do this better? And I didn't realize I was doing this, but like this whole question of, if how I'm showing up, if everything were to end tomorrow, would I be satisfied? I didn't know that I was working all this through to like get me to this, how you're showing up is not congruent with the life you say you want. And, this is where it all starts. The awareness on, if it ended tomorrow, like, would I be okay with how I lived? Would I have been the best version of myself? And if your answer is no, start looking into why. Like, why aren't you happy? Why aren't you showing up as your best, most vibrant self? Was that even ever encouraged in your childhood? Because if it wasn't, I can guarantee you're not living a happy, vibrant life today. But you can. Like, that's it. You can change anything. Like, the way your mind, your brain, like the beliefs and patterns you have, you can change. And I just want to spread this message for anyone out there who's like feeling so stuck, so just like in the mud and just like, I don't see a way out. There's a way out, and it all starts with you. Like, you can't do this if you're not on your own side. You can't. Like, man, this is a tough ass journey. Like, the amount of work I've had to go through to fix like what my parents damaged, what they weren't working on. Like, if I'm being honest, like, this work is hard sometimes. It's hard when no one around you is doing it. When you're the only one, like, soldiering on, just be like, I know it gets better somewhere. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And there will come a point too where you start seeing the benefits. You start seeing and noticing how it feels to love and show up for you. Connecting to yourself, connecting to your breath, creating safety for your own life. Like, it sucks to come from childhood trauma and like dysfunctional homes because, you wake up as an adult, you're living as this wounded kid. It's now all on you. Like, it's your responsibility. How you show up in life, what you believe, how you choose. Like, even when it's not in your awareness, like, the ways you are acting is your responsibility. And, nobody told me this. Nobody was like there to like flash the mirror in my face to be like, yo, you showing up is your responsibility. It's nobody else. Nobody else can make you like love yourself or like show up in a like perfect way. Like, if you aren't mirrored or shown the way, you're gonna just keep living out your old patterns, your old beliefs, what you saw in childhood. And I'm just here to say you can change. If you desire change, growth, connection, like, you can have it. You can heal from the things that have happened to you. I mean, I am living proof. And I would love to help you if you are struggling in this piece. I use breath. I use what I've learned. I have some exercises to like look at your beliefs, like to really just deep dive into who you are, into how you can start loving and honoring this person. And when I say like honoring you, I mean like really just accepting you as you are, all your parts, all your pieces, what you've learned. And another big piece is all of these wounded actions you take, they had a purpose. Like, the ways I've been showing up were the only ways like my little brain could figure out how to survive. Like, if I didn't do these things, if I didn't play small, get out of the way, like, largely in a lot of ways I could have not survived. So just realizing you act the way you do because it served a purpose at some point. And you might be recognizing, okay, these served a point in my childhood. These actions, like how I show up, did serve a purpose. But now in my adult life, they are holding me back. They are hurting and harming me. That's a thing. Like, that is a very big thing because I see that now in myself. Like, the way I show up harms me. It holds me back from being my most authentic self. It holds me back from the things I say I want. And this is all a part of it. You have to see how your actions hold you back, how they aren't helping you become who you want to be. And then once you know who you want to be, you can start showing up in accordance with that person. And just some encouragement and on this ride, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It gets to be fun too. Like, learning to love you and getting to know you, it gets to be fun. Like, just play as much as you can with it. Like, play with your inner child. Like, what did you like to do when you were a kid? Like, start doing some of that shit. Like, just connect with yourself and you will start connecting with others. It all starts with you. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.